Lose my audio when I do that?
No, we can still
So
hear you.
hear you.
Oh, you can. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. We'll give everybody just one more minute here.
So proud of you, Tim. You were early to the meeting this morning.
You know what? I will be honest with you guys. I was like not mad at anybody but myself. But the last ALC meeting, I was like super frustrated at myself. That's not the kind of like, that's not the like outward appearance or like, that's not what I want to like, that's not the energy that I want to like bring into the world. And I felt like super convicted and was like, that's never going to happen ever again. Like I hated that feeling. And you guys were all right. Nobody was wrong. I was in the wrong. And I hated that feeling. And I don't like feeling that way. I don't mind being wrong, but I value everybody that was at that meeting so much. And I did not like that at all. So thank you guys for your accountability and also your grace. You don't need to do anything, just your accountability of making fun of me. Um, I think
It's
it
out
was
of
a growth
love.
moment. It was a growth moment for me. It was a painful, hurtful one, but it was a growth moment. So that's good. And I can see Becca's face, and she doesn't believe me, but it's the truth. Becca's like, we'll see about that. Becca is cautiously optimistic. I know it. Okay, I don't know how to do this. So you guys tell me. Um, I'm going to do, I think I just do like a split screen maybe. And then I'm just going to like share my entire desktop and see if you guys are able to see it. I don't know what else to do. Let me see if she'll let me do that. Share desktop
If
and
we
tell
need, oh,
me
there
if
you
you
go. We can
can
see
you
it.
guys see the inspection report on your end?
Yes.
Oh, dandy. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's jump in then. Let's go. Okay, so this is an inspection report from Crown Home Inspections. And if anybody has any questions or like a separate topic that you want to talk about, first off, I'm not going to talk about inspections for an hour, but I wanted to share some experiences from a contractor perspective because some of you guys know I also own an electrical contracting firm and some of you don't. So if you don't, I also am a master electrician. So oftentimes agents will send me inspection reports and go, hey, can you take a look at this real quick? And see if this is like valid. Are these things that we need to deal with or address? Or, hey, can you give me a quick price on what you think this would cost? So this inspection report happens to be from Crown. We've had them in our office a couple of different occasions. They do like continuing ed classes, and Crown is fantastic. Highly recommend them. Of course, I recommend the Alaba team more than anybody, not just because they're our sponsor, our partner vendor, but I think the Alaba team is second to none. However, sometimes the Alaba team can't get to an inspection in the time frame that you need, and it's also wise to not have all of your eggs in one basket and to divvy things out as you need to stretch your business and grow a little bit. So this is an inspection report that I just want to show you guys a couple of things on the electrical side of it specifically. One for education, so that you guys will better be able to understand the electrical section, and then also to talk about the experience that I had with this particular inspector, and also some experiences that I've had with Ron and Jordan Alabaugh. And just so you guys know, if you don't already, inspectors go through the International Certification of Home Inspectors courses. And they have to get certified and they have to have a certain level of knowledge proficiency in all facets of the house, not just any, they're not experts in any one particular field. And they just have a more in depth than normal people would knowledge about homes. So when they write something up on the inspection report, it's simply a red flag for us to take a look at. It's not like they're the end all be all. This is the information and this is a fact. So, in giving credit to the Alaba team, I can't tell you a week in a long time that hasn't gone by where I'll see Ron calling in on my phone and he's like, "Hey Tim, do you have 2 minutes for me?" And I'm like, "Yep." And he'll say, "Hey, I'm on an inspection. Can I send you a picture? This is what I'm seeing. Is this sound accurate to you, or does this look right to you?" Ron always is seeking more information. And Forrest was the inspector here with Crown on this one, and Forrest is the same way. He'll always call and ask questions. So I want to point out a few things. For example, on this house, tell me if you guys have seen anything like this before. The meter is pulling loose from the siding and should be repaired from a qualified electrician. All right, let me zoom in on the picture. If you guys can't see this picture, just let me know. Can everybody see where it's pulling away from the house? And you can see where it's like either the old paint color or maybe it's no paint and that's raw siding behind the meter can. This one is barely pulling away from the house, but it's still a problem, right? So what happens is the inspector red flags this. Curious, let's do a poll here. Anybody think, can you guys do you guys know how to do like hand raise on here? Does anybody think that this is an absolute deal breaker? Don't buy the house. The meter can's pulling off the house. It's about to cause a house fire any minute. Doesn't seem like a big deal to anybody. Okay.
No.
Are you going to
I
tell us
agree.
wrong?
Nope. I agree. From an electrical contracting position, I would say that there's probably 90% of the houses out there that are built prior to 2011. This is going to be a really common problem. What happens is, as the ground settles, it pulls the conduit down with it, and the conduit is attached to the bottom of the meter can. And that excess pressure just starts pulling on the screws that are attaching the meter can to the house. And you can see right here, this is just like wood, like masonite siding. And the meter can's probably not attached to any joists. It's probably just screwed into the siding. And so over time, moisture, humidity, weather, the screws just kind of lose their dig and the meter can starts to pull off. Not a major deal, but you see that he wrote it up in red. It's something to address. It's something to be aware of. Sorry, go ahead. Did I cut somebody off? Nope. Okay. Moving on to the panel. Panels in the garage. How many of you guys, let me see, how can I go back to, somebody help me out here. Can I click here? How many of you guys have had panels written up on your inspection reports? Yep. Like almost nearly every house, unless it's a newer construction house, right? So there's a lot of common issues that happen in panels. This panel, they do things like this. Panel manufacturer, Murray, you might see Square D, you might see GE. Anybody know any panel manufacturers that when they write it up, you're like, oh gosh, this one's going to be problems. Anybody ever have any of those?
Yes.
Yeah. What are some of those brands? Anybody remember any of the names?
You're going to say it and I'm going to remember.
Yeah. Zensco panels.
Yes.
Anybody seen
Aren't
Zensco?
a lot of them in the 80s?
Yeah, they are. Pushmatic. Pushmatic is probably like one of the worst. If you see a Pushmatic panel, the inspector's like, oh, rip this thing out and put a new one in. And from an electrician standpoint, I would probably say the same with the Pushmatic panels. But let's take a quick look at this panel. Is this going to be helpful for anybody, or is this going to like bore everybody to death?
No, this is
Love
great.
it.
Great. Okay, cool. Other than the user who can't figure out how to operate his computer. Okay, so let's look at a couple things here. Improper clearance for the electrical panel. Anybody see what the inspector is writing up here? Shout it out if you see it.
Is it too close to the outlet?
Actually, it's not, but that's a
Okay.
great observation. You don't have clear access
It-
to the front of the panel.
Gotcha.
So see how there's a workbench with stuff packed up in front of it? You're supposed to maintain 3 foot of clear space in front of the panel so that you can walk right up to the panel, not have to lean over stuff or climb on stuff. So he wrote that up, which, I mean, these guys built a workbench into the garage wall here. It's cleated to the back wall. So probably, we're not going to not buy the house because of that, but technically it is a clearance issue. And he wrote this up as 30 inches deep, and that's fine. 30, 36. The idea is there. Okay. He also writes up that the panel appears to be 40 plus years old. We recommend having a service checkup of the electrical panel by an electrician as a safety precaution. Okay. So again, try to zoom in on this guy a little bit. His picture's not great. So obviously, those of you guys that have seen panels with the panel cover off, this one kind of looks like a spaghetti string of mess in here. Like it's not tidy and clean. There's some wires like not secured or stapled in place or anything. Not major deal breakers. Brandy made mention, like, is it too close to the electrical outlet here? No, not really. You can mount an electrical outlet next to or adjacent to a panel. However, this is in an unfinished garage on a concrete wall with a concrete floor. Does anybody know anything about what should happen with that outlet? It's probably been written up before on some of your inspection reports. Starts with a G, ends with an
Needs to be
FCI.
grounded.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a GFCI outlet. Because
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Darren got it. Good job, Darren. Broker D, he knows it. Um, if anything that is in bare, unfinished space outside or within 4 feet of water needs to be GFCI protected, and that stands for ground fault circuit interruption. So here's like a little electrical lesson. Breakers don't trip because there's a short circuit or because there's a current leakage. There's only one thing that makes a circuit breaker trip, and it's heat. So in your panel, a circuit breaker is looking for a certain temperature range. And if everything's operating properly, the breaker stays on and you have no issues. A short circuit oftentimes will cause a breaker to trip because it's trying to send a ton of electricity to one spot as fast as possible. And the faster things move causes a buildup of heat. And the heat is actually what causes that circuit breaker to trip. However, if a human life is involved, we don't have time to wait for something to reach 4,000 degrees before it trips. That happens in a matter of seconds, but 4,000 degrees to human flesh causes massive electrical burns, tissue damage, could be electrocution or death. So the GFCI, what it does is it looks for current flow. It doesn't look for temperature, it looks for current flow. If current flow is going anywhere other than where it's supposed to, it instantly trips out, like 1/100th of a second. So it's not worried about heat. It's looking for current flow. So sometimes, has anybody ever had a nuisance trip on a GFI at your house where like it trips out? Like you're like, man, I was just trying to plug my Christmas tree lights or my Christmas lights in outside, and the outlet keeps tripping out on me. It must have had like a little droplet of moisture or something in it. A lot of times we'll see on inspection reports where the GFCI won't reset. The inspector writes it up like he puts his plug tester in there and nothing happens. There seems to be no power there. GFCIs are also designed to not let any electricity flow through them if they've had moisture damage. And so sometimes they just need replaced. Doesn't even have to be an old one. Maybe it got some ice freeze thaw in it, something like that, and it will lock out and won't let electricity flow through it. So the only thing you can do is just replace it. That's a safety precaution so that it will continue to do its job. So the clearance thing here, again, probably not going to be a deal breaker, but something to address. The panel is older than 40 years old. I think I just had this conversation with one of you guys like last week. Okay, the panel is older than 40 years old. How many of you guys live in a house that's older than 12 years? Yep, most of us, right? How many of you guys have had your electrical panel tuned up and inspected in the last 10 years? Most people
Doesn't
don't,
everybody
right?
do that every month?
Yeah. Doesn't everybody do it every month? Yep, sure don't. How many of you guys, we'll get off of the electrical field. How many of you guys have pulled out your refrigerator and cleaned out the cooling fins on the back of it in the last 2 years? Ashley and Becca, of course, you two nerdy overachievers. Of course.
We both have also moved into the places we're currently living in the last year.
Okay, you guys
so that
cheated,
maybe makes a difference too.
It doesn't count. That doesn't count. You cheaters, that doesn't count.
Yeah, you get a pass.
Yeah. So electricity is something that's dealing with on off, heat buildup, wear and tear, and most people don't do anything with it until it breaks or until they sell the house. So the inspector comes in, he sees an electrical panel, it's older than 40 years old. He wants to have an electrician come out and, hey, let's just inspect this thing and check it out. Probably a good idea because there's also a high probability that it's never been tuned up, it's never been inspected, all of the screws haven't been tightened in possibly 40 years. So the biggest component to failure in the electrical systems is loose connections. And the panel has more connections in one spot than any other point in the electrical service. So he wrote up this electrical panel needed to be inspected. totally agree with them. How do I make this go away? How do I move this? Yes, there we go. So he writes up this panel. I can tell just by looking at it in the picture, it's old. Nothing is like, there's not a bunch of free, clear working space in here to allow heat dissipation. There's probably going to be some heat damage in here. Doesn't mean that the house is bad. Doesn't mean you got to walk away. It just means it need a little bit of attention and a little bit of maintenance. And most people, there's a lot of areas of home maintenance that people neglect until it's time to sell the house. And then like, oh crud, like we didn't even know. And yeah, let's deal with it. Okay, here's another write-up that he put on here, a super common one. Sorry, let me take a breather for a second. Does anybody have any questions or any thoughts on any of that? Is this helpful? Off in the weeds? Keep going, stop, do something else.
We like it.
It's interesting.
Okay.
Keep going, Darren
Okay.
says.
Okay, perfect. Here's another red write-up. So what Crown does is if it's something that they really want you to take a second look at, they put it in red. What like Alaba team does is they give you that summary sheet at the very first 2 or 3 pages of their inspection reports, and they're going to have like their highlight, like their high points. These are like the most impactful items. So this one says that the panel employs breakers from several different manufacturers. When manufacturer of the panel applied for a UL listing, the design was submitted using breakers from the same manufacturer. Using breakers from other manufacturers can be a hazard as the box wasn't designed for those manufacturers. I can stop there. Okay, so what happens is, if you remember from up here, when he wrote down the panel manufacturer is Murray. Well, they no longer make Murray panels anymore. And so you can't go into Home Depot or Lowe's or an electrical supply shop and buy Murray breakers. But almost all electrical manufacturers make what's called a universal fit breaker that will fit universal panels, which is what this one was. So again, not a deal breaker, not anything to be wildly concerned about. In fact, if you need to add a circuit or if you got a breaker that goes kaput, you need to replace it, you're not going to be able to probably buy a Murray breaker. You're going to have to get a universal fit breaker. That's okay. You just want to make sure that the electrician is doing it, because there are certain UL listings. And UL listing, if you guys, have you guys ever seen a UL label on any of the products that you buy? Ladies, your hair dryers has a UL listing on it. Curling irons have UL labels. Light fixtures have UL label. Anything that plugs into an outlet is going to have a UL listing on it. And that stands for Underwriters Laboratories. That's an independent study firm. And what they do is they test stuff to see at what point does it fail? At what point does it break? And when it does, what's the common outcome? What happens? What goes wrong? So that they can identify whether it's safe for consumers to purchase or not. The electrician should be looking at the breakers and determining, is it UL listed? Has it been tested for use in this panel? It might fit, but if it hasn't been tested for use in that panel, it's a no-go and they need to get another one. So those are some of the issues where the inspector writes it up, because the inspector doesn't know, did Joe homeowner do this, or handyman Bill, or did an electrician that knows what breakers are compatible with that panel do the work? They don't have any way of testing that. An electrician or the inspector isn't an electrician, so they're not going to go popping breakers out and looking and reading the UL label. So they're just asking you, hey, it's a good idea to have an electrician test this, because if it wasn't tested, then we don't know what the outcome is when there's a failure. Could be a fire, could be just like a real nasty electrical smoke. It could burn up the inside of the panel and then you're without power and you've got an emergency call into Evergy. And if you've ever had any of those, it's a bummer. Evergy doesn't make any like attempt to get there in a big hurry. And sometimes your emergency is like 3 days later for them, and it's just not very convenient. So something to look out for there. Okay, let's move on
Tim,
to
quick question.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
And I'm sorry if you already said it, I missed it. Whenever that panel is off of the siding like that, and you said it's not a big deal, don't you have to have technically, aren't you supposed to have the power company come out and shut it off to screw it back on? Isn't it a somewhat hard fix on that? Or can you just screw it back into the wall?
It depends. Every situation is unique. Let's pull it up real quick. This one was super duper. Whenever I said it wasn't a big deal, it could be a big deal, because anytime something's pulled away from the siding like this, what could get down in here? that would be super detrimental to siding?
Water.
Water. Water is like the most damaging
Wasps.
thing to homes, right? Like wasps, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Wasp could make a nest back there. Yeah. Water can just run right back down there. There's going to be a hole in the siding where that wire passes through the siding into the house to go down to the panel. So water could get into there. It could do a ton of damage. You could get mold. You could just get a bunch of dry rot, deterioration that could happen. So we want to take care of it. It's just not like a major emergency, but it's definitely something you want to take care of. So Jake's asking, like, isn't this more involved than just like screwing it back to the house? Yeah, it is, because we have to open up this meter can in order to get to these screws in the inside. And technically, this meter can is going to be the property of Evergy or Osage Valley or Platte Clay Electrical Co-op or whatever the electrical utility is. So we're going to have to get them involved. They're going to have to come out, cut the tag off, give us permission to open up the meter can. And then we might be able to just rescrew it to the wall, or we might not. The siding behind it may already be rotted out enough that you can't just easily reattach it. So then it could be, $100 fix, or it might be $1,000 fix. If you've got siding damage behind it, you've got to cut siding out. So yeah, great question, Jake. That might actually it could potentially be a major deal if it goes unaddressed for very long. This one isn't really posing an electrical problem because it's barely pulling away from the house, but all the ancillary things we just discussed, that little gap could be a major problem if we got some moisture damage there. So yeah, great question. Absolutely.
How long does it take to get, because like Evergy has to come out and unlock that, right? Or do you have a master key?
No, Evergy does have to come out. They have to unlock those meter cans or cut the tags open. So the process with that is, let's say that shows up on your inspection report as it did this study house. And you call the electrician and say, hey, this is what we need you to do. The electrician calls Evergy and says, hey, I've got a meter can that's pulled away from the house. If it's really, really minor, Evergy might just let us rescrew it to the house. If it's really, really major, Evergy's going to make us put in what's called a slip riser. And a slip riser allows the ground to settle and not pull the meter off the wall. And let me see if I can show you a picture. Are you guys still able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this little piece of conduit is larger in diameter than the conduit that's coming up out of the ground. And it just slips over the conduit that's coming up out of the ground. You can see the slip riser piece. The end of it is right here. This lower portion of conduit is the conduit that's there, and then it's going to get tugged on by the earth as the ground settles. But this is a larger diameter, and so we slip it down over the conduit. So the top of this lower conduit may actually end like right here. And you can see it has like 1.5 foot of travel that conduit can move before it starts creating any tension or anything on this meter can. So if Evergy requires us to do that, then what they're going to do is, to Jake's question, they're going to say, hey, we need to do a scheduled outage, which I've done with several of you guys. We schedule it out. Evergy is usually about 2 weeks out, and they put a date on the calendar. They're going to come out. They're going to kill power to the house, unlock the meter can, allow us to open up the meter can, take that conduit out, install the slip riser, and resecure the meter can. And then we call them, and they come right back out that same day, re-energize the house, put the meter back into the can and lock it up, and you're good to go again. It all happens in the same day. The problem is it's usually 2 weeks off in the distance. So if it's something that you guys are negotiating as part of your resolution period, make sure that you get that on your electrician's radar sooner than later so that they have enough time to get it done before the house closes. Because it'd be a bummer to have a house have to delay closing because somebody didn't want to close on it, if all the work wasn't done. Or in some cases, the insurance companies, if the meter can is at a really bad acute angle, and the appraiser calls on it, then sometimes the insurance company won't even insure the house until it's taken care of. And that's a real extreme case, but I have seen that happen a couple of times. So yeah, good question. Did that answer that, Jake?
Yeah, because it looks like it'd be so minor, but then it's two weeks out to get it repaired. So
Yeah, it is. It's a very minor. It's an easy fix. It's just it's kind of first come first serve with Evergy. And as you guys have noticed over the last couple of weeks, we've had so many storms that have caused like tree damage and electrical lines. Was anybody without power at all when those tornadoes were coming through, like Belton and Raymore? Nobody lost power. Wow, that's incredible. A lot of people lost power. There was like I don't know. I think I saw at one point Evergy had like 18,000 outages overnight in one night. So what happens is, and this has happened before, Jake, is like, let's say Wednesday night this massive storm comes in and knocks out a bunch of power. We were supposed to be on the schedule with Evergy to do that meter can work on Thursday morning. Evergy calls, or they just send out an email notification saying, please call in to reschedule. Your order's been canceled because their crews have been working all night long to get power restored, and that like that's what's considered a non-priority item to them. So what you would think is like, oh well, they can't get to it till Thursday. They just back you up one day. They don't. You're like another week out or another week and a half, and it's insane. But that's how they work, and you can't get them to change that. So yeah, great questions there. Okay, cool. Those are just like I figured every time I do mastermind, I'll share just like a couple of little electrical tidbits from inspections to hopefully make us more educated as we're talking through stuff with clients. Those were a couple that I just had recently, and since Ron Alaba had called and asked my opinion on that meter can, I thought, I mean, I'll share it with the guys because if we've got inspectors that are kind of like, hey, what do you think about this? It's helpful for us as agents to know that stuff, just because how many of you guys, when you went through real estate school, whether it was online or in person, they taught you all about home maintenance and what it goes into protecting a home's longevity and doing service and maintenance items? Did anybody remember that from real estate school? Yeah, I don't at all. Like I don't remember that. Like they don't teach us that. Somehow me raising my hand, the AI on here did my hand raise up here on my deal. Do you see that? That was wild. AI is like, there we go, lower hand. Okay.
How'd you
They
do
don't
that?
teach you that in school. So yeah, I just like I was putting my hand up like this and then oh now it's trying to stop my share. Wow. Um, I had a situation here just the other day where a client has a tankless electric water heater. And the inspector wrote up that it looked like that it hadn't been flushed. And I'll be honest, I have a tank water heater. I've never owned a tankless water heater. Didn't even know that they needed to be flushed because what is there to flush? Water's like running through it all the time. I guess tankless water heaters, the manufacturers recommend that they be flushed every year. And my seller, who lived in the house, was like, we've lived here for 7 years, and that tankless was water heater was here when we moved in, and we've never had it flushed. Didn't even know we were supposed to. How would we have known that? That's a great question. How would you have known that? You wouldn't have. If somebody didn't tell you that, how would you know that? And so I'm finding like like I said, I have a construction background. I come from the electrical industry. And there's a lot of things that if it's outside of my wheelhouse, I don't know. I had some first time home buyers that moved into a house and I was walking them through like how to change out the filter in their furnace and their air handling unit. And they were like, oh my gosh, I'm glad you showed that to us. We wouldn't have even known we needed to do that. Yep. Because probably like either whoever they lived with, their parents, maybe they never changed their filter. I've been in some houses where it looks like the filter has been in there for 20 years. And then, or maybe just like dad did it or mom did it and just never said anything about it. And they just changed the filter out, but didn't show their kids how to do it. So then when their kids go to buy their first house, they had no idea that they needed to change out their filter. So this just for me, I'm like, man, that's an aha moment for me because it's not even necessarily high level homeownership stuff. It's basic homeownership stuff. Some of the stuff I don't even know because if I don't have those features in my home, how would I know to tell people that they need to flush their tankless water heater annually? Didn't know that. Makes them last longer. You should do that in a tank water heater too. It keeps sediment, debris, and stuff out of the bottom of your tank, by the way. Learn that from asking some questions from one of our plumbing vendors. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful information. So questions or what's on your mind? What do you guys got? I don't want to monopolize this, but I'm happy to.
I appreciate all your electrical information you share. I always learn something when you host Mastermind. So,
Awesome. Good. Good. Hopefully so. Okay. Well, if nobody has anything, then I'm going to pull up another thing that I saw today. Thought I'd show you guys this.
I have
Is
a
this realtor?
super quick suggestion. Make sure to remind your clients to have their dehumidifiers on in their basements.
That's a good one, Shelby. Tell us why that is.
Because you'll have brand new sheetrock on your ceiling and then the pipes will drip and ruin all of it. That's what the
Happens.
Eckerts did.
Oh no, that happened in your
Yeah.
house?
Yeah,
Oh
brand new
shoot.
sheetrock. Eric was like, "Oh, why is this wet?" And I said, "Oh boy, what have we done?" And yeah, it was, yeah, they were condensating and yeah, so dehumidifiers, I think they're supposed to be at like 30 to 40%. I should definitely ask chat. Ours is at like 40, so I think we're okay. But yeah, so that's just that was something that happened to us.
That's a great share, Shelby. I'm glad you brought that up. I've seen that in a couple of houses here recently. In my professional humidity experience, I think every home in the Midwest should have a dehumidifier in the lower level. I mean, every home. Unless you've got some sort of whole house dehumidification. A lot of houses have humidifiers for the winter. Not a lot of houses have dehumidifiers in the summer. And yes, your air conditioning unit pulls humidity out of the air. Um, but to Shelby's issue, I had this happen in a house, and some people freaked out. They had a pool in the backyard, and they were getting the pool ready to go this spring, and it was low on water. If you guys are familiar with pools at all, usually when they winterize them, they have to drain the water below the skimmer level in the pools. And then Brandy's like, "Yep, we got to do that." Then when you in the summer, whenever you open the pool, you add water and bring the water up to full pool level. Well, sometimes that's thousands of gallons of water to bring the pool up to full level. So what happened was they put both hoses in the pool, turned on the water, and let it run for hours and hours and hours, just letting full stream of water blow through their water lines to fill up the pool. And you had city temperature water. What's does anybody know what typical city temperature water is? Just coming out of the tap. It's usually about 58 degrees, and that's just natural. It's like 58 degrees sounds like that's not that cold. It is when it's 80 degrees outside and the water is 100% humidity. Yes, it's wet. It's in liquid form. It's 100% humidity, and they're running 58-degree water through a copper pipe in a humid basement. Exactly what happened at Shelby's house. The copper pipe that was above the sheetrock ceiling in an uninsulated joist space started condensating, and that whole length of the pipe across their rec room in their basement just started dripping water down onto the sheetrock. And I don't know how much time it took, but they ended up just seeing this line of moisture start developing along the ceiling in their basement, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what is happening?" And they panicked and thought they had a major problem. They did. They have water that's now leaking through the sheetrock in their ceiling, and it was all caused by the same problem that Shelby had. Was a copper cold water line started condensating because they were running so much cold water through that line, and it just started dripping down onto that ceiling, and eventually it soaked through the sheetrock and showed up on the finished side of the ceiling. A dehumidifier, I don't know if it would have been able to battle against that, but it definitely could have caused a lot less damage by having that dehumidification down there. So, what was the cause of yours? Did you say, Shelby? What caused yours to do that?
Sorry, I'm driving. I was trying to hit unmute. Ours, we had a new plastic pipe put in for the furnace to let the heat out for it to vent. I don't understand that. There's two pipes together in the ceiling that go outside. And one of those is what started to leak. So the condensation, yeah, started dripping. So we cut a hole in the ceiling, a small one, and we actually never put a vent over it. Now that I'm thinking about it, the Eckerts don't get back to projects. The deferred maintenance thing that you're talking about, that kind of happens. It's really hard to keep up with everything. So
It is, isn't it? It's real life.
it
It
is.
is definitely real life.
Yes.
100%. Well, thanks for sharing that, Shelby. That was really helpful. Yeah, that's just all stuff that that people don't know. So the only way that they're going to know is if we educate it and share them. Which I thought this was the email, Lonnie. It might have been you that shared it. Lonnie shared it was Lonnie. Lonnie shared on our private agent Facebook page, or maybe it was his public post, a little blurb by Tom Ferry. Did any of you guys see that and read that yet? I think was that this morning, Lonnie, that you posted that, I think, or last
Yesterday.
night? Yeah. It was a great write-up. It was a great read about agents that are going to make it in this business and agents that aren't, and just how the market's changing and what value we bring to the table. And the Tom Ferry team was talking about bringing real content that actually adds value to the general public, sharing advice, sharing wisdom, educating. And these are easy topics, you guys. It doesn't have to be electrical. In fact, I would be foolish to not have like Tim's electrical moment and put it on my YouTube page or put it on Facebook, just sharing some homeowner tips, because that's something that comes super like easy and natural to me. Shelby, you're Eric's an electrician. You could probably pick his brain and steal some stuff from him. But I mean, even easier than that, most of us on this call, we all live in houses. And so just sharing our experience with what we, the little things that we run into, mishaps with contractors, or oops moments, or hey, I tried to fix my water faucet myself and water started spraying everywhere. And like, people want to hear that stuff. And if they can learn from our mistakes or from our knowledge, it definitely causes us to rise to the top of the pool of real estate agents that are just saying, hey, if you want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call me today. What about the ones that say, hey, here, Crystal's on this call. I don't mean to pick on you, Crystal, but I'm going to. Crystal's been doing a phenomenal job of her videos. I think it was yesterday I saw one of Crystal's where she was just talking about like, hey, like if you think that you can't buy a new house while you're in yours and that's going to be an issue. And you spoke briefly to a contingent offer, and it's real easy for us who are going to team meeting every Tuesday and going to Todd Branson's Lunch and Learns to be like, oh, well, yeah, of course we know we can throw a contingent offer out there. Well, the general public doesn't. They don't all know that. If it's their first home, especially that they're in, and they're trying to upgrade to their second home, they've only bought one home and they lived in an apartment before that and they were non-contingent, and they've never written a contingent offer before. So great share, Crystal. Way to like put yourself out there and share what to us may seem like basic knowledge, but to the unassuming or unknowledgeable consumer, that could be like, oh my gosh, like even if she just picked up one client and she has to work her rear off to get a contingent offer accepted, awesome. Now she's going to have a listing and a sale from it, and a buy from it, simply because she brought a piece of knowledge and some education to the table where otherwise people may not have known that. Darren said great vid on contingencies. That was phenomenal. Like, I don't know, what did it might have taken you 4 hours to record it if you're like me, but the video itself was only like a minute long, right? Like
I did it at an open house.
Nice. See, that's Crystal. She's a pro, you guys. I mean, maximizing your time at an open house, because she hosts open house probably like I do. Sometimes you're like overwhelmed with people coming in, and sometimes an hour goes by and not one person stops by. So instead of standing there playing Candy Crush Saga on your phone, Crystal's throwing valuable content out there and separating herself as a market expert, which is awesome. And those are the little things that we could be doing. And Lonnie's video from the Tom Ferry share, that's exactly what they were talking about. We have this knowledge, the skill sets to bring a ton of value and a ton of ads to the general public that right now are just customers, which if you guys remember from real estate school, customers are the general public that we owe a fiduciary responsibility to. And our job is to gather them up as clients, and then everything changes. That's what I want. I don't want a bunch of customers. I want clients. I want people that are in an agency relationship agreement with me, and we're doing business. And what happens, and I think, Lonnie, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in that Tom Ferry clip, he said, like, you do enough of that and all of a sudden you're not hunting for leads. leads are coming to you because people see you as an expert, as an authority on the real estate subject, and they start calling you because they've seen your content, they've seen your knowledge, they've seen that you know what you're doing. Even if you're just sharing market statistics, pick a neighborhood or pick a city and sharing that information, like, oh my gosh, Belton, here we go, we've got 43 houses on the market, and or what, whatever it is. That's super knowledgeable. So, and some of you guys are doing a fantastic job. Shelby, you always crush it with your videos. They're hilarious. I love them. You look like a pro out there. Go, Lonnie.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know if Paul's on this call, Paul Fife, but he's moved the needle in his business doing that maybe as well and maybe faster than I've seen anybody. So yes, he has a database and former clients. He's been at this a while, but he's picking up the pace by building out that database and by doing these activities. And every day in our business, it's a juggling act. First of all, you've got your triangle and your people in your world, and they need to be cultivated at all times. But we also need to be prospecting and filling that funnel at all times. And those activities do that. Whether that's, and you could add open houses, and you could add door knocking, and you could add all these things. So it's a balance to have all those going. If you don't have a great triangle that you're really confident in, you need to be out there pulling people out of the general public and getting into relationship with them.
Absolutely. That's a great share. Somebody I thought raised their hand. I saw it in my peripheral, but maybe not.
Are we still screen sharing, Tim?
Oh yeah. Do you want me to change that or go back to something or?
Well, if you're still screen sharing, go for it. I didn't know if you still had more to share with us, or if we could.
I mean, I do. Did it change? I just now turned it off. Did that change something?
Cool to see who all's on here. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you could see that through my screen. So what were you seeing?
Just your wallpaper or whatever.
Oh, wow. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
That must have been dreadful. I don't even know what my wallpaper is. What
a bridge with some fireworks going off. It's great.
That's funny. That's from Downtown Disney in Anaheim. That's from Family Reunion.
I thought so.
Okay, cool. One of the things that Lonnie just real quick hit on, and I want to dig it back out. And I don't know if Crystal, I don't know if you do this. I don't know if the Fifes do this, or I will sometimes share like a story on Facebook or Instagram. And then if you don't put that on your highlights, it goes away after like 24 hours, or I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what that time frame is, or like it's only on there for a little bit and then it goes away. If you're taking the time to record those videos, like I don't mean to keep picking on you, Crystal, but the one that you recorded just on the contingency one, it's just fresh in my mind. Oh, even the Fifes, Josh just did that one on their listing over there in Peculiar off of the one off of J Highway down there in that little valley. That red barn one is awesome. Like that's such a cool listing. And Josh did a nice video that I'm sure Ashley probably had something to do with getting that all pulled together. And
I have nothing to do with Josh's videos.
She's like, I have nothing to do with Josh. I try to keep it that way. If you just throw that stuff on social media and then let it disappear, it's gone forever. But if you go through the trouble of making those videos, throw them on like YouTube or put them in your highlights to where it stays forever, because building leverage, if that video is only out there for one day and then nobody ever sees it again, you got a lot of views on it that one day, but then that's it. If you put it in an archive content like your highlights, or if you dump it into a Google page or put it in YouTube, then it's out there constantly and people can always see it. So what may happen is Josh records this video, and then 2 years from now, somebody who's searching for homes and looking for acreage in Peculiar, and they're searching, then what happens is Josh's video pops up because it's still out there. It's still content that's available. And then they see Josh and they're like, oh, this guy knows about acreage, or somebody's looking at a different loan options, or they heard the word contingency, and then they start Googling it. And then all of a sudden they see that Crystal's got the word contingency tagged in her video a bunch of times. Then Crystal's video pops up. It could be 2 years from now, and Crystal gets a call from somebody that's like, hey, I saw your video. I wanted to see if you could help me out. And Crystal's like, holy cow, I recorded that in 2026. This is awesome. So our video archives are also a way for us to leverage our time, which is why it's so valuable to have that content, even if you just post a picture of it, like on Instagram, but you don't delete your history and just let that roll. Who was it? Somebody was like, oh, I think it was Lisa. I love the candidacy of Lisa's Facebook post. She
Yeah.
was like, okay, I recorded myself, I deleted it. I recorded myself, I deleted it. I hate how I look. Do I look like that? Like, I love that. I do that, Lisa, all the time. Every time I record a video, I'm like, yep, definitely not posting that. I've recorded so many videos and I've never posted them. Say again.
It was pretty bad.
That's how I feel. And then I saw Trevor Tannehill commented and he's like, hey, just throw it out there and don't ever look at it again. And your first videos, when you look at them a year later, you're going to think they're hideous, but you learn and you grow. And I love that that's where you're at in this, Lisa, because you have already such huge influence in the community. You have such a great, friends base and database. People want to see that. And I know it's uncomfortable. I'm preaching to myself right now because I hate seeing myself on video. I hate hearing my voice. But the information that you have to share could absolutely be the difference maker. Lonnie said it with the Fife team. Like it changed, just getting out there and putting yourself out there. It's the fastest thing that's going to change your business or get your business really rocking. Is don't be a secret agent. Make sure people know that you're out there, that you know what you're doing and what you're doing. Most of us are overeducated and nobody knows that we're out here. We have more than enough knowledge to be top agents and nobody even knows we're an agent because we don't advertise. We don't get ourselves out there. Nobody's seeing us other than the people that are in our little triangle. If they're outside of that triangle, they don't even know we exist. So to throw it out there anyway. We don't think you have what I forgot what you have a mean resting bee face or whatever you said. I laughed so hard. I thought it was hilarious.
A Muppet with a side talking resting bee face.
Oh my gosh.
Loved it.
One of the ways around the whole not liking your video is just go live. Just do a live video where you just, yes, I see head shaking. Yeah, if you just do it and just go live, you know what? If a fly buzzes your face, you just shoo it away. And if your lipstick gets, your hair's in your lip gloss because it's windy, you just go with it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And you can stumble over your words and a police car can drive by and it's just real. But if you try, this is what I've experienced when I try to edit my videos and I try to take a perfect take, I will never post it because it will never be perfect enough. And so I just go live and just throw it out there. It is what it is. If I mispronounce a word, if I look cross-eyed for a moment, whatever, it is what it is. And it takes off some of the perfection. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you just go live.
That's a great share.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Lisa.
There's some value with being vulnerable and being human too.
Yes. People don't want to see perfect. We're not supposed to be newscasters. We are realtors. We're real people. We're not trained, polished, people born for the camera. We're just real people. And I think people can relate to us when we do that kind of stuff.
I could totally post videos of bloopers of my retakes.
For real.
We want to see those. Those are the ones that your fellow agents want to see. You're right, Crystal. And honestly, those will probably get more engagement than your polished ones. Alex Bearden and I did that one time. We were at one of Jake Keith. We did an open house at one of Jake Keith's listings, and we were trying to make like a really polished, like fun video. And we kept working on it. We had all these like stupid bloopers, and we posted our final product, and like it got engagement. But then for a joke, I posted like all the bloopers and it got like 100 times more engagement. And it was people like that more. Like we were just idiots. Like we just were stupid and people loved it. That was fun. And now I know I'm just an idiot. And so I thought I was different, but that was just me. So now I know. People are like, this is the real you. That's good stuff. Lisa, post it. I'm going to be looking for that video later today. Did you already post it?
I have a few things.
Okay.
Sleeve.
If Lisa posts a video today, I'm going to post a video today.
I'm I just need to just throw it out there. You're right.
Do it.
That's the way to do it. It's kind of
Carrie
like the door
Underwood
knocking
said
thing
post
with
and
me.
ghost.
I was scared to death to door knock, and finally last weekend I went and door knocked on 15 doors when I did an open house, and 4 or 5 of those people came down to see me. So and I walked away with 3 really solid contacts from it. So that growth is uncomfortable, but I feel like I'm going in the right direction as long as I'm a little uncomfortable every day doing something that I haven't done before. So I'm here, I'm doing it.
Good
Yeah,
job.
the
That's
best way to
awesome.
fail in this business, the best way to struggle in this business is stay in your comfort zone the whole time. There's very few people that can build a business and just be in their comfort zone all the time. So just break out, skin your knee a little bit, engage the public as much as possible. Those of our agents that live in these more rural areas, they have such an opportunity because, whether it's an Archie or Adrian or Garden City and these kind of areas, I mean, there's nobody out there really trying to just dominate those markets. And you can build a massive business by just being the master of something, whether that's a particular community, a small town, whatever that is, but be the foremost expert of something. Lisa, for example, lives in a great community, Cherry Hill. And, everyone in Cherry Hill needs to know you, and they need to know you're the local expert real estate person of choice. And by the way, if we have another agent that lives in Cherry Hill, I apologize. You can go head to head with Lisa. But, get the word out there. Let them know. Own that market. Every time a house is listed, you need to know what family just listed and why they didn't call you.
Yep. That's really good. That's really good. Good shares. All right. So Lisa, you and I are going to have a little, you don't let my business, my business needs me to post a video today. So don't let my business down. I'm counting on you. I'm not posting unless you post. So you got to throw a video out there.
Now the
No
challenge is
pressure.
on.
Don't leave me hanging, Lisa. I've got a video that I need to post, and I don't want to, but let's do it. Lisa and I are going to do it. Good.
I was just gonna.
All right. Well, sorry. Go ahead.
Just real quick. Now's the best time for everybody that hates doing videos and doesn't know how to edit to get into it. Because right now, vlog style videos are really trending again. That's how it was for the first 10 years of video. And then it really dipped off during COVID. People were at home. They wanted really high quality edited stuff. But we're back to really seeing like those boring, walking and talking. And those videos are what are really doing well. I think I watched a 5-minute video yesterday of a dude just walking and talking about home maintenance he's been doing. He's a guy that bought a house. It was a turd. He's been doing a bunch of work on it. 5 minutes of this guy just walking and talking to the camera, and I watched the whole stupid thing. And that's the easiest to shoot. You don't need to edit them at all, and people are watching them. So yeah, that's really what's trending right now. So we're kind of in luck that the easiest thing is what's trending. So.
Dumb question, but who's holding the camera as they're walking and talking? Is someone walking with them and holding the camera?
Nope. I'm standing. I've done it, and it sucks if you do multiple takes. If you see me walking down Main Street in Blue Springs shooting a talking head video, you'll see that I've gone back and forth the exact same lap 15 times shooting it. But just holding the camera and doing it, with your headphones, you don't need mics or anything. I mean, just shooting something like that. Those have done better than the home tours I put in 2 hours of editing into and an hour of shooting, which is heartbreaking. But that's how it is. So those talking heads, just walking and talking to your phone are doing really well. So go on a walk, get your steps in, shoot a video, win-win. We're healthy. We're selling lots of real estate. I don't know.
Hey Josh, do you use like a selfie stick or like a boom or anything, or do you literally just like hold your arm out?
When I'm walking and just holding the arm out, getting laughed at by everybody driving by, I'm sure, but.
I've seen like you guys may have seen it too, like my brain, Ryan Couvert on his Movie Co page, if you follow him like on Facebook or Instagram. I've seen him do a couple of cut shots, and I think you've done it too, Josh, where it's like Ryan's coming out of a house. He must have the camera on a tripod, but he says that he just does it with his phone, but he like puts his phone on like a little mount or something, and it's like on the front porch. So he's like looking at the camera and coming out of the house talking. and then it cuts to the next scene, and it looks like his dialogue, like he's just telling the same story, but now he's getting in his truck, and the phone is like in the passenger seat or on the dashboard looking at him as he's opening the door getting in. So it looks like it's like one fluid, but he has to be doing that in multiple takes and just like merging them together on something. And I know he did that class on it, was kind of showing us the edit app and stuff. But do you do any of that, Josh? Like where you're like doing cut scenes or
not a lot? I mean, all my home tours are like that. You know, I end up with 65-second clips, and that's why I spend 2 hours editing it. I don't recommend it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
because of the time that it takes to edit it.
Yeah. And the time. Yeah. It's easy to shoot because I just do a bunch of quick clips and I don't think much about them. I don't prepare anything. So I'm getting to where I can shoot them in 20 minutes, but yeah, still 2 hours editing. So I don't recommend it. And his are like that, but a higher level with better editing skills. And he's probably also spending an hour editing that video.
Yeah, so, probably so. Yeah. Okay.
But if someone does want the cost-effective version of equipment to do that, I can reshare my post from the day that Ryan did the lunch and learn.
Can you put that on the private agent page?
Yeah, I can put it back in there.
That'd be awesome. I think it would be helpful.
Yeah, I got Amazon links and everything for you guys. Don't worry.
That'd be great because Lisa and I are both posting videos today, so we can use that.
It's got the gimbal, the microphones, the tripod, the I don't know if you've seen the obnoxiously large stand that my dad has on the back of his phone, but it magnets to his case. So it magnets just like anything else, but then it serves as a tripod. That's awesome. It's like a decent stand, and it extends enough that it can be a decent selfie stick too for recording and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see that.
I bought this thing. Can you see it?
You got a ring light with a stand? Look at you.
Got her light ring? Heck,
haven't used it yet, but it's here. I will today, though.
She's using it today. She's using it today. Yep.
Kind of a weird question on this, but what do you guys do with your voice? I have a Forrest Gump voice that's kind of boring. Like if you were listening to me for 5 minutes on a video, I think I'd put you to sleep.
I have one of those Batman voice changers. I'm going to just use that from now on.
Like I wasn't sure, like, do you guys like try to, like, I know like in a walkie-talkie when I whisper, I have to talk at a higher pitch than normal because I sound all mumbly. I wasn't sure if you guys had any tips or tricks on how to just make your voice more appealing when you're doing these videos.
Josh, you've done more more videos on here than
I don't think people tend to find my voice appealing. I usually chug an energy drink before I shoot a tour, so I think I'm just louder and more energetic. But
there was that one video his microphone messed up.
Yeah, I think you have a soothing voice, Jake. You just got to use it.
Yeah,
read bedtime stories.
Yeah, I could do that. I've been using some of the AI like voiceover things where I just shoot the video and then I'll type in a story and have a AI guy do the voice instead. That's kind of nice because then I don't have to take 12 takes.
Right before I record, I smoke a cigar and drink a spiced old fashioned, and then that's it gives me the voice tone that I want.
All right, any healthy options here? Energy drinks.
I've done a shot before, especially my dad are shooting a video together and he's driving. I'll do a shot to handle him. I don't know. So it makes it easier, loosen up.
But yeah, I feel like if I was drunk, I'd make some really good content.
That's the key. Yeah. Just one evening a week, just get hammered, shoot 10 videos.
I just need to hang out with Ryan Finn.
I mean, I think what the analytics continue to show though, like just be authentic. You may want your voice to sound a certain way, but like we all hear your voice. We know what it sounds like. We want to hear Jake. Like,
well, I feel like when I do it, I feel very low, like it's very low energy and slow. And then, so I'm always looking, I'm like, man, this is an hour-and-a-half explanation for a 60-second problem here because my voice is just slow. I wasn't sure you guys.
Darren said your broker's watching your drunk videos. 816-331-2323.
That was one video, Darren.
Version of Drunk History.
Oh, that'd be hysterical because I'm not a big drinker. The only time I ever get drunk is around Ryan Finn. So I just need him
and I'm officially reining this video back in. So here we go. Jake, your voice sounds fantastic. We don't think you sound slow, and we like your voice. We think it's handsome and
So-
sexy. And so just keep doing you, man. We like
Something
it.
something that could help that, Jake, though, not the other things. If you put it into edits and type your script out in edits, change the speed that it scrolls for your teleprompter. If you
Oh,
make it
force you to
scroll
have
a
the
little
speed
faster.
teleprompter.
There you go.
In
Yeah.
edits, which is the free app that Ryan Couvert Lunch and Learn was about, which if you weren't there for it, it's in our YouTube bank. You can go back and watch it on YouTube.
Edits.
But it's a free app. It's tied to Meta. But you can put your script in there and it'll teleprompt it for you. And you can adjust the speed that it scrolls. So that may help if you just increase this scroll speed a little bit instead of reading off like a stagnant page.
I got you. Thanks,
That's
Derek.
good.
Jake Gump.
Thank you. Thanks, Ashley. Awesome. All right. I'm going to cut you guys loose. It's 11:01. Thank you guys all for contributing. This was great. I appreciate all your shares. Thank you so much. Lisa, you and I are posting videos today. Thanks for making me uncomfortable today. Wonderful. Let's do it.
Good
Let's go
call.
sell
Thank
something.
you, Tim.
All right.
Go sell something. See you guys. Thanks. You
Thanks.
bet.